Today we are reviewing multiple sclerosis, or MS. MS is an immune-mediated disease that attacks the central nervous system, specifically the myelin surrounding nerve fibers. When myelin is damaged, nerve signal transmission slows down or becomes disrupted. That's why patients can develop symptoms involving vision, balance, sensation, strength, cognition, and coordination. MS is progressive, unpredictable, and affects each patient differently depending on where demyelination occurs. In this lecture, we'll connect the microscopic disease process to the real clinical manifestations and nursing management you'll see in practice. MS affects about 400,000 people in the United States and is much more common in women, with about a 3-to-1 female predominance. Most patients develop symptoms between ages 20 and 50. You'll also notice a geographic pattern. MS is more common in northern latitudes like the US, Canada, and parts of Europe, and less common in Asian populations. The exact cause is still unknown, but the current thinking involves a combination of genetics, environmental triggers, and autoimmune activation. More than 200 genetic variations have been associated with MS, but it is not considered directly inherited. Environmental risks include obesity, low vitamin D levels, and high salt intake during adolescence. There's also a viral theory, suggesting that viral proteins may mimic myelin, triggering an autoimmune attack against the nervous system. This slide explains the actual disease process. Normally, myelin allows rapid and efficient nerve signal transmission. In MS, sensitized T and B lymphocytes cross the blood-brain barrier and trigger an inflammatory cascade inside the CNS. That inflammation damages both myelin and oligodendroglial cells, which are responsible for producing myelin. As the myelin breaks down, plaques form along the axons. These plaques can occur throughout the CNS, especially in the optic nerves, cerebrum, brainstem, cerebellum, and spinal cord. The result is disrupted nerve conduction. Over time, repeated inflammation can also lead to axonal degeneration, which causes irreversible neurologic damage. MS diagnosis is really about putting together multiple pieces of evidence. MRI is one of the biggest tools because it shows plaques scattered throughout the central nervous system over time and in different locations. CSF analysis looks for oligoclonal IgG bands, which support ongoing immune activity in the CNS. Evoked potential studies help identify slowed nerve conduction caused by demyelination, even when symptoms are subtle. Additional testing may also evaluate bladder dysfunction or cognitive impairment, depending on the patient's presentation. There's no single test that confirms MS alone. Diagnosis comes from combining the clinical picture with imaging and supportive testing. MS exists on a spectrum, and not every patient follows the same pattern. Radiologically isolated syndrome means MRI lesions are present, but the patient has no symptoms yet. Clinically isolated syndrome is usually the first neurologic episode, lasting at least 24 hours. The most common form is relapsing remitting MS, where patients have flare-ups followed by partial recovery. Over time, some deficits may remain. Secondary progressive MS develops after years of relapsing remitting disease and becomes more steadily progressive. Primary progressive MS is different because disability worsens continuously from the beginning without relapses. The key thing to remember is that disease progression patterns vary widely between patients. MS symptoms depend on where demyelination occurs within the CNS. Visual symptoms are common and may include blurred vision, diplopia, scotomas, or even blindness from optic neuritis. Motor dysfunction can include weakness, tremors, ataxia, balance problems, and spasticity. Sensory symptoms often include paresthesias, dysesthesias, pain, or loss of proprioception. Many patients also develop autonomic dysfunction involving the bladder, bowel, or sexual function. Cognitive and psychosocial changes are also important. Patients may experience memory loss, decreased concentration, depression, or emotional lability. Another important clinical point is that stress, illness, and heat can trigger exacerbations. MS is a chronic progressive disease, and long-term complications become increasingly important over time. Life expectancy is reduced compared to the general population, although many patients live for decades after diagnosis. As patients age, disability accumulation, mobility limitations, and secondary progression can significantly affect independence. Older adults with MS often face additional challenges like comorbidities, altered medication metabolism, and polypharmacy risks. There's also a major psychosocial burden. Depression, isolation, anxiety about dependency, and transitions into assisted living or nursing care become major concerns later in the disease process. This is why long-term nursing management focuses not only on physical symptoms, but also quality of life and functional preservation. MS treatment focuses on slowing progression and reducing relapses. Disease-modifying therapies, or DMTs, work by suppressing or altering immune system activity. Some are injectable medications, like interferons and glatiramer acetate. Others are oral therapies, such as fingolimod or dimethyl fumarate. More advanced or targeted therapies, like ocrelizumab, are especially important in progressive forms of MS. During acute relapses, the standard first-line treatment is high-dose IV methylprednisolone for several days, often followed by an oral prednisone taper. One important reminder: these medications do not cure MS. Their goal is to reduce lesion formation, slow disability progression, and decrease relapse frequency. Symptom management is a huge part of MS care because symptoms can vary widely between patients. Spasticity is commonly treated with medications like baclofen or tizanidine. Fatigue, which is one of the most disabling symptoms for many patients, may be treated with medications like amantadine. Neuropathic pain is often managed with anticonvulsants or antidepressants rather than opioids. Ataxia and tremors can sometimes improve with medications such as gabapentin or clonazepam. Bladder and bowel dysfunction are also very common and may require anticholinergics, alpha blockers, hydration strategies, and infection prevention. The overall goal is improving daily function and quality of life. Nursing assessment in MS focuses on neurologic deficits, functional ability, and psychosocial impact. Patients may present with weakness, spasticity, vision problems, speech difficulties, or swallowing impairment. Functional assessment includes mobility, balance, fall risk, and fatigue level. Psychosocial assessment is equally important because depression, coping difficulties, and medication non-adherence are common. Major nursing diagnoses often include impaired mobility, fatigue, and risk for falls. Collaborative complications may involve aspiration risk, constipation, incontinence, cognitive decline, and sexual dysfunction. Because MS affects so many systems, nursing care has to remain holistic and individualized. Nursing interventions in MS focus heavily on preserving function and preventing complications. For mobility issues, gait training, assistive devices, and strengthening exercises can improve safety and reduce falls. Spasticity management includes stretching, orthotics, and muscle relaxation strategies. A very important teaching point is that heat can worsen MS symptoms, so patients should avoid hot baths and overheating. Energy conservation is also critical. Patients benefit from pacing activities, balancing rest with activity, and maintaining a cool environment. Psychosocial support is another major priority. Support groups, counseling, home modifications, and monitoring for depression or suicide risk can significantly improve quality of life. The overall goal is maximizing independence while minimizing complications. MS care goes far beyond treating plaques on MRI. Management has to address the entire patient, physically, emotionally, socially, and functionally. Medical therapy focuses on slowing progression and reducing relapses. Nursing care focuses on mobility, fall prevention, fatigue management, skin integrity, bladder care, and maintaining independence. Long-term support also includes nutrition, mental health monitoring, family education, and community resources. The major nursing goal is preserving quality of life while helping patients adapt safely to a chronic, progressive disease. Here are the major high-yield points to remember about multiple sclerosis. MS is an autoimmune demyelinating disease of the central nervous system. T and B lymphocytes cross the blood-brain barrier and damage myelin, slowing nerve conduction. The most common form is relapsing-remitting MS, but progression patterns vary. Classic symptoms include fatigue, visual changes, motor dysfunction, and sensory disturbances. MRI is the primary diagnostic tool, supported by CSF oligoclonal bands and evoked potentials. Disease-modifying therapies slow progression, while steroids treat acute relapses. Heat, stress, and infection can worsen symptoms and trigger exacerbations. And from a nursing perspective, priorities include safety, mobility, fatigue management, psychosocial support, and preserving quality of life.